My beans are burning. What's going on, guys? Welcome to an intentional life review with me. And of course, Maritza's definitely going to jump on a few of these as well. And so basically, what we're going to do is take different vegan, plant-based nutrition videos, training videos, different all around, even mindset, right? We're going to watch videos, whether they're from conferences or webinars or from wherever. If they are from someone that we feel is qualified to teach, that means they live, they do, and they practice it, and or they're doctors or some sort of medical practitioner in some sort of way, or even they've been doing it for a long period of time. If they are a professional, right? So in my opinion, just so to make it clear, if someone is living the lifestyle, they're doing the thing they teach and they've been teaching it for a long time, they're qualified to teach you, right? And so I think the biggest problem in the plant-based and vegan trend that's going on right now, now it is a movement, but there's also a trend going on with some people, is that everyday people who don't live the lifestyle are trying to teach it. And you can't teach something you don't do, period. I don't care who you are. If you don't power lift, I'm not going to power lift with you or get advice from you. If you're not bodybuilding, I'm not going to get that advice from you. If you aren't vegan or plant-based, I'm not going to seek your advice on it, period, right? So that should be a rule of thumb, people. If your doctor is overweight, you probably shouldn't take advice from him, right? Makes sense. So what we're going to do is watch these videos from awesome people, right, who are qualified to teach it for you, and break it down and make it bite-sized and give you the information you need or we feel is important to know. And then that way you have it, right? And then if you really want to learn more about it, you can dig deep. We'll give you the links to the videos. We'll give you links to certain websites. That way, if you want to go deeper into it, you absolutely can, right? And so the whole point is to bring more awareness that you can change your life. You can change how you feel. You can change your energy. You can change your illnesses. You can change your happiness if you truly want to, if you seek out the right information. And with a day and age of so much information, I realize how confusing it can be. At the same time, I think what makes sense makes sense. And so you've got to decide, do you want to do something about it, or do you want to be lazy and contribute to all the crap that's out there? And yes, this means the shit of our health. This means the downfall of the planet Earth itself. This means a lot of different things. But what we want to do is make this watchable for everyone and just give you the tools you need to make the changes, right? And so the first video that I'm going to be reviewing is a Whole Foods plant-based intro, right, from Dr. Anthony Lim. Now, Dr. Anthony Lim is a board-certified family practitioner who's also, I think, a lawyer in the state of California, and he works at True North. And basically, he wasn't a plant-based doctor, and he became one because he realized that out of his residency from Santa Rosa family, that they weren't hoping for more, right? So most doctors, they don't get nutrition advice. They don't understand. They don't get taught those things. They get taught medicine, very specific. And basically, when you have an illness, they give you the medicine for it. And their aim is to lower it a little bit. So for example, if your blood pressure or cholesterol was really high, for example, 200, they're just trying to shoot your cholesterol just under 200 with medication. If your if your blood pressure is really high, they're trying to go from 160 to 140 over 90, something like that, right? And the thing is they're not trying to get rid of it, right? They're not trying to cure it. They're just trying to help you manage it, right? So what these doctors do eventually, these plant-based doctors, is they get really fucking sick and tired of it because it's no longer helping their clients. Their patients are still dying. Their patients are still sick, and they realize that this stuff can be prevented, right? And what prevents it? A whole foods plant-based diet. And so even when it comes to their obese clients, right? Their obese clients that weigh 300, 200 pounds, they're only trying to get them lowered by 5%. 5%. That means if you're 300 pounds, somewhere around 15 pounds, and that's winning. That's like really, really winning, and that's sad, right? And so some of these doctors, especially Dr. Kim, which he explains that he got sick of it. He wanted to make a change, and he wasn't feeling good himself, right? And so he gives examples where at certain facilities, for example, like Dr. John McDougall, which is his mentor, and he's the one that wrote the Start Solution, and he's very big and awesome and well known in the vegan and plant-based community. I think he's retired now. I could be very wrong. It's been a while since I've actually dug into a lot of these videos, but I'm really happy that I do, because I'm learning more, and it's reinforcing more and more that what we're doing is super important. We want people to realize that they can make themselves healthier, that they can be happier, and that they have the power to do so, right? And the only way to do that is to get their information out there. So in this video, he gives examples of when he was taught what the bare minimum was. And the bare minimum was just to do a little bit, right? To give you medications to get people by, right? So not cure them, not prevent it, but just to manage it. And so he gave two examples, one Robert Smith and one John Meyer, where they drastically changed their lives because they got sick and tired of feeling the way they felt. They were on tons of medications, heart disease, depression, anxiety. They had pains and aches all over their body. And then they ended up doing programs. I think one was a McDougall program, and I'm not sure about the other one. I think it was one of his patients specifically. And they ended up completely changing their lives. And there's pictures in the video. I didn't even get through the whole video because I was so excited about the information I just learned 30 minutes into it, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm just gonna give you the 30-minute brief because I want you to go in and watch this stuff. I want you guys to really learn what you can do and why it's important. And so basically, they completely changed their lives. They don't even look the same. They lost tons of weight. They're off all their medications. That's right. They went from, both of them, about 3 or more medications to 0, right? And that is the power of a whole foods plant-based diet. And they both were on a whole foods plant-based diet. And so what he does is he also goes in and explains the difference between whole foods and vegan. And I think the biggest misconception is that people think they can be vegan every other day. No, vegan is a choice for the animal. So if your friend eats meat on Saturdays, your friend's not vegan. Okay, your friend is plant-based. If your friend buys leather, they're not vegan, they're plant-based. And so vegans get a misconception that they're healthier when there's a ton of vegans that just do it for the animals and they're not into the health bandwagon, right? And so you can be vegan and eat white bread with butter for breakfast, right? And then be super hungry by like 10 o'clock. So, and this is paraphrasing some of his example, go and eat Oreos. And then from Oreos, you go from like French fries and maybe a TV dinner or whatever the case may be. And you could have a vegan pizza essentially as well for lunch with the diet cheese all over. And guess what, guys? As much as it's so great that they have so many different options that I know that I fucking capitalize every now and then, right? I do enjoy those things every now and then. I also realize that that does not mean health. There is no fiber in that stuff. And a big problem is that we don't get enough fiber. People want to make the protein an issue. Protein is not an issue because also in the video, they go to say that a lot of super strong animals in the animal kingdom, the ones that you would probably recognize as being strong, like gorillas, elephants, bison, and the last one was horses, they are plant-based eaters. They eat nothing but plants, and they are very muscular and very strong. And you wouldn't say that they have a protein deficiency, would you? And in fact, I don't think protein deficiency is something that's really a problem at all in the United States itself, okay? Protein deficiencies happen when you don't actually get an adequate diet or you have some sort of eating disorder. So it might be more common in places where they don't get food every day and they're not eating for weeks at a time or days at a time, you know what I mean? And you can see their bones and you can see that they're not getting nutrition. Malnutrition is where you will get protein deficiencies. Not eating animal products is more than fine because you can get it through beans like I just had earlier, right? So he goes on to explain that, but not only does he go on to explain the animals that are plant-based that are super strong and we recognize them as being strong, he goes into explain Frank Medrano, right? So Frank Medrano, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, is a bodybuilder. Not only is he a bodybuilder, but he's a calisthenics expert. And he made the transition. He already thought he was healthy. Same thing with me. I thought I was healthy already, right? And I couldn't really do anything much for my health. But let's talk about Frank for a second. But what Frank realized is that, A, he had more energy when he went plant-based, right? But not only that, he recovered faster. Why? Because you get the nutrients, the macro, the micro, the phytonutrients, the antioxidants that your body needs to recover faster, right? So he found that he felt 10 times better on a plant-based diet. Now, did he say 10 times? I said 10 times, just so you know, so no one wants to contradict. I'm just saying that I know what I feel, and I'm sure he feels the same way. So basically, the most important question that Dr. Lim goes to ask is, why adopt a whole foods plant-based diet? And the reason he says that we should do it is because 2/3 of the United States is overweight or obese, and 1/3 is obese. The US spends $40 billion on diet and diet supplements or diet-related products, right? Yet, it's still a problem. Not only is it a problem, but heart disease, cholesterol, all diseases, cancers, all that are still on the rise, right? So we're spending $40 billion just on diet alone, right? That means that you say you're not in the best of health and you want to lose some weight, right? You're going to go out and buy a product. You're going to go out and buy supplements. You might even have to go to the doctors for something that you need instead of looking to your nutrition, instead of looking into what you put in your body, right? And so he says that that's a problem. I see it as a problem. I'm not sure if you do. If you do, please understand that you can do something about it, that we can do something about it. 95% of those people who do take on the diets and the supplements and all that will actually gain their weight and more. 95%. So the percentage of people that lose it, they're going to gain it back, pretty much. Like 95% is a very good number in terms of a test or something like that, but not when it comes to your health, right? You don't want to take those odds. So why even do it to yourself? He says 50% of adults have either pre-diabetes or are diabetic, okay? So that means that half of the population, 1 in 2 people, are either going to get diabetes or already have it, right? Again, this is something that we can prevent. This is something that we can actually take a stand for, right? And it's obviously a problem. It's a big problem. 50% of the US is going through it. Every 52 seconds, an adult dies from heart disease. So that's over 600,000. Mind you, these are numbers from 2017, right? And I picked this video because I really like Dr. Anthony Lim. But at the same time, this information is timeless. In fact, we've known for years, for centuries even, that plants were the answer to healing our bodies. But obviously, when you don't have the dough like these industries do, you can't get that information out there. But the fact that every minute that this video, that means 13 adults have, well, it's about to hit 14. 14 adults will die from heart disease already by me just speaking into this video, right? And this might be edited a bit, so it's going to be shorter. But right now I'm looking at 14-minute video. So therefore, 14 adults died while I explained that there's a way to actually fix this and help this, right? I even have family members that have heart disease that I have been trying to help. So there's a cure. In fact, the only diet shown to reverse and prevent heart disease is a whole foods plant-based diet. Now, why do these people not embrace it? Why do most people not embrace it? In my opinion, it's because they're lazy. They've got negative habits. There's fast food everywhere, right? These industries spend billions and trillions of dollars, maybe not trillions, but billions of dollars to get you to eat what they're selling, right? You are a business to them. Therefore, we've got to make some changes, right? And you can't just eat, like, it's not just eating animal products either, it's processed foods. And in fact, it's said that more than 58% of Americans' diet is ultra processed, right? And I'm going to actually read the definition that in this video that Dr. Kim Lim found from a study published in the BMJ, which is a journal. And the definition of ultra processed is the formulation of several ingredients which, besides salt, sugars, oils, and fats, include found substances not used in culinary preparation. In particular, flavors, colors, sweetness, emulsifiers, and other additives used to imitate sensorial qualities of unprocessed or minimally processed foods and their culinary preparations, or to disguise undesirable qualities of the final product. That means that pretty much it's fake. It is not whole foods at all. It's not even remotely close. What you're eating is chemically man-made, and it isn't good for you. And more than 58% of the US diet, an American diet, is made of this stuff. Over 25% comes from animal products, and less than 10% comes from fruit and vegetables. That includes fruit juices, guys, which is not a whole foods either. So this has got to tell you something, guys. This has got to tell you that what we're doing right now isn't working. What we're putting in our bodies isn't good. And in fact, these companies, these industries are predicated on making sure that you stay sick, that they're gunning for you to make that bad choice, whether it's processed, whether it's meat. It doesn't actually matter. Did you hear the lightning and the thunder? Can't hear the lightning, but I saw it. And so for me, that's a problem. That's a problem because also for so long, I thought that I was healthy. I was telling my clients to eat and live a certain type of way because I was the authority. Why? Because I went to school for it. I went to college for it. I've got certifications. I lived the lifestyle. I trained a certain type of way. I, by anyone's circumstance, was qualified to talk about it, right? To teach it. And I thought I knew, but the truth is that these bodies, they've got education under their belt. They've got governments under their belt. And so it's on you and people like myself and all these other amazing doctors and trainers and coaches to get the message out there so that hopefully you hear it enough times that we make changes, right? You start to adopt some of these practices, and once you do, it changes your life. So he goes on into the video as well, and he talks about Hungry Planet, which is a book that was created. And basically what this book did was it took pictures of different families across the world to show what they put on their plate. And of course, he took a picture of a American family, and I would say definitely over 50% of what was on their plate was processed. So they had pizzas, and there was sodas and beers and soft drinks, and I don't know, all this processed stuff. Minimal vegetable, minimal fruit. Then he went on to show an Egyptian family. Now, in the Egyptian family, there was meat, but there was also potatoes, tons of greens, fruits and veg. I saw some bananas in there. I think I saw some tomatoes as well. He then showed a picture of a Guatemala family, right? And there was rice, carrots, potatoes, fruits, and I personally didn't see any animal products in that picture itself. He then showed a picture of an Indian family, and again, tons of fruit, tons of veggies. Now, I think what the biggest problem with most Indian cultures, I believe, and please don't mean no disrespect, but are vegetarian, and the biggest problem that they have is either dairy or oil. And you eliminate dairy and oil, you take out tons of fats, saturated fats out of your diet. Fats have a lot of calories on top of, God, if I could tell you to eliminate one thing, it would definitely be dairy first. So there goes, but they do a lot of fruits and veggies, a lot of spices, and those things are quite amazing, and they do amazing things for your body. So basically, it just showed the differences on why America is going through this crazy time of becoming sick, being depressed, not feeling good, lack of energy, right? And dying at these insane rates, and compared to other places in the world and what they actually put in their body and why their lifespans are more. And really, honestly, I think you should watch the video, but if you don't, you're getting the information here, but you should see what the different pictures and what they look like. And the book's called Hungry Planet, in case you wanted to look it up. Again, I'll put all the information in the link as well. So basically what's going on in America is an epidemic, and it's an epidemic because we're not being mindful. We don't even realize what we're doing. And in fact, the average American eats over 200 pounds of meat, of animal products, right? As opposed to India, where they eat an average of 11 pounds. 200 pounds, 11 pounds. And this is in the course of a year, right? And that's a very big difference, right? So that means for breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner, We're constantly eating some sort of animal product. And that includes meat, dairy, cheeses, yogurts, chicken, fish, whatever, right? Animal products. So what is America's way of addressing this issue? Pills, stents, surgeries like triple bypasses, or what is the one where they shrink your belly? I can't think of it right now. But basically, they cut your belly and they shrink it. Can't think of the name right now. But things that actually have little to no effect. That means that it isn't there to actually stop it, right? It isn't there to make a difference. It's just to buy you a little bit of time. When in fact, you can reverse it. You can make the changes that you need. You can do the things that will make you healthier, but they are not telling you to do that. That's a problem. So what can a whole foods plant-based diet do? According to Dr. Lim, it can improve your blood pressure, it can improve your cholesterol, it can improve your blood sugar, your weights, reverse and prevent heart disease, slow down and even at times reverse cancers, improve symptoms like gout, arthritis, MS, inflammatory diseases, and so much more, right? So diabetes is affected by this. Countless other things, right? That means that the things that we think that we can actually make an impact on, right? Cancers, heart disease, tumors, diabetes, all these things that we think mama gave us, it isn't true. You can actually do something about it, right? And basically what he explains is that when he first started, he didn't know this information. But as he started to get mentored and educate himself to make changes, not only in his life, but his patient's life, he realized that there is an answer to all these problems that we have. There's no reason why every 53 seconds, every 52 seconds, an American has to die, right? When we actually have the tools that we need to do something about it. So that was only 30 minutes into that video, right? 30 minutes into the video, that's what he talked about. If that is not enough to get curious about how you can, we didn't even talk about depression, which I think is majorly impacted by what you put in your body. If that's not enough to get you to even get curious, then I don't know what is, guys. And so what I want you to know is that if your energy is low, if you are sick, if you're on tons of medicine, if you are unhappy, if you feel like shit on a normal day basis and you think that that's a regular thing, you are just misguided greatly, because you can do something about it. There are tons of people that want to get the word out there. You can actually make a difference, not only in your life, but the lives of your family. So your sons, your daughters, your mom, your dad, whoever, brother, sister, you can help them by giving them this information. So, but the truth is, guys, we can make a difference. It just starts with you. It starts with you wanting more than what is going on now. And if you aren't satisfied with what's going on now, then change it. Thanks for watching, guys. The links to the doctors, where they practice, the videos, and so much more will be posted below. Peace. Good.